So thank you, Imara. So today, during this event, we are going to have a few people behind the scenes that are going to make us, helping us for this event to go smooth. So some of the people that are going to be helping us today, we have Mark Dickinson, Imara Angus, Lisa Murray, Ariana Saavedra. So thank you so much for all of those that are joining us today and helping us in the behind the scenes. This morning, it is a pleasure for me to welcome Asma-na-hi. I invite Asma-na-hi this morning to, first of all, to do a land acknowledgement where royal roads are, and also to talk a little bit more about what that means and how a Royal Roads University in Canada, why is that so important for us? So Asma-na-hi, she's an Associate Director of Indigenous Engagement, and welcome, Asma.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. I'm so excited to be joining you this morning. Well, it's morning here where I'm at. First, I want to begin by acknowledging where I am at, and I do that by waking up in the morning and planting my feet on my floor and give intentions and gratitude for another new day, giving gratitude to the ancestors of these lands. I am located on the Lekwungen, Songhees Nation and Kosapsan Esquimalt Nation traditional lands. I want to acknowledge elected chiefs, Ron Sam and from Songhees Nation, and elected chief Rob Thomas from Esquimalt Nation. But I also want to acknowledge the hereditary chiefs as well within both of the families, but especially from Kosapsan Esquimalt Nation, hereditary chief Edward Thomas. All the chiefs have welcomed me, have guided me, have assisted me in the work that I do at Royal Roads University. And I'm really, really grateful. And Royal Roads University is also located on those traditional lands. So it's really thinking about who was on the lands across Canada long before visitors and guests have arrived. And then part of Canada's vision is to really thinking about that reconciliation between the first peoples of these lands, the Indigenous people, and then working with all of the other guests and visitors of the lands. It's called reconciliation. My name, Asma-na-hi, is a phrase, and it means caring for precious ones. And it comes from my late mother, Vera Thompson's family from Toquat Nation of Nuu-chah-nulth lands, which is the west coast of Vancouver Island. My last name, Antoine, comes from my late father, Eugene Antoine, from Sycas Nation, from Carrier-Sicani lands, which is central and northern BC. I am the director of Indigenous Engagement at Royal Roads University, and one of those things, one of the things I want to talk about today is, first of all, intention. What does acknowledging the lands and the history of the lands and the history, or also acknowledging Indigenous people of Canada mean to Royal Roads University? And part of this journey that we've been on, and I've been at Royal Roads now for almost 8 years. I've worked at other post-secondary institutions as well, and this is becoming a standard practice. And as you heard my introduction, acknowledging the lands is acknowledging the ancestors, where your feet are planted, and then acknowledging your own ancestors, and then acknowledging and putting forward who I am and what I do. And that's, for me, that's been a standard practice pretty much my whole adult life. And I've been really grateful, again, especially to elders and old ones who have helped guided me from understanding and learning and continuing to learning, because I'm still a visitor on these traditional lands. And when I go back home onto our traditional lands, it's really sitting with elders and family. At Royal Roads University, we have what we call the Heron People Circle, and that is actually comprised of elders and old ones who are from the local nations that surround Royal Roads University. And there's 10 members, and all of them, I know, are always open to having a conversation, meeting new people, and helping students from all nations to just welcome and guide them in those spaces, especially when you're coming from home and then coming to a new country, a new city, a new place, and you may not know a lot of people, but you're missing that family connection. the Heron People Circle offers that opportunity for you to be able to connect with somebody in a really authentic and unique way. And so that's one of the things that I do, is organizing those visits between students and faculty, and especially a number of different events that they help coordinate. And I will get onto that in a minute. Some of the other pieces that and the work that I do at Railroads is connecting with all of the local nations, but provincially and nationally and internationally as well. And so recognizing that there's so many opportunities for new students to connect with those local nations, to also learn about the culture, also to learn about the history, but also to understand that Indigenous people still exist and still are working hard to be able to be recognized and treated equally within space, treated equally, but also to have the exact same opportunities as many other people within our world. One of the things that working with them is to collaborate with Indigenous people, but also consult with them, and recognizing that some of our needs may not meet, well, maybe something that they don't need, but I'm also here to listen to what those local nations would like to do. And so my job at Railroads is to see if we have those tools to be able to do that. And one of those things, for example, if there's an opportunity to hold a celebration or a ceremony because we live or because the university is on such a big campus and a beautiful campus, then we take that opportunity to host in June 21st, National Indigenous Peoples Day. And due to the pandemic, these last couple of years, we haven't been able to gather. But the last, give you an example, the last National Indigenous Peoples Day, we actually hosted 2,000 people to that big event, and every year that event just keeps growing. So I look forward to gathering again next year, June 2022, for an opportunity for another big celebration over that. And finally, one of the other things that I do is Indigenous research ethics. I sit on the research ethics board, and so anybody who wants to do research with Indigenous people on Indigenous land, that form actually will come to me and I'll review it. But also I'm always open to listen to hear what students and faculty want to do within the research area. And then also connecting Railroads University students to potential internships and careers, and working with the Career Center and the Student Services Center to say, here is an organization that wants to have students come into their organization to learn and to give them those opportunities. For example, the First Nations Management Board had called last week, and we had a meeting, and their CEO, Jordy Hungerford, had requested and said, our services, we provide services to many nations across the country, and we are always open to helping students and also offering our services as being a guest speaker at Railroads University in a number of the programs, which I'm really grateful for. So overall, there's a number of different opportunities when you come to Railroads University to thinking about that indigenization, but that first step is acknowledging and learning about the traditional lands of where you are at currently. Even if I see some people are calling in from Mexico and some people calling in from India, when you do that, and I see one from South Africa, even that, recognizing that Mother Earth has so much history, and where your ancestors and families come from have so much history. And so when you plant your feet on the ground, and then when you arrive to Lekwungen and Kusatsin traditional lands, also known as Victoria, when you arrive here, I want you to also think about some of those stories, those untold stories, and wanting to create that curiosity. What does that mean? How is this affecting, and what is that greater Victoria area doing to build that reconciliation? And then when you arrive at Railroads University, you'll see plenty of examples around campus, and you'll hear faculty also doing a land acknowledgement and also acknowledging their own ancestors, some of them acknowledging their own ancestors, which is a really important step towards reconciliation, and recognizing that, okay, if we come together collectively and continuing to do that, and it becomes the norm of our practice, and it becomes our own self, then how better would that be for that reconciliation space? So Railroads, for me, I always call Railroads University my family, all the members who I work with, but they are my family. And I am so grateful for Andrea for welcoming me in and inviting me in to give a land acknowledgement, to give a little bit about what I do at Railroads University. And I really, over the next 4 days, and I know you have over 700 participants who are registered, and recognizing, okay, that's 700 little pebbles I'm dropping in there, but also recognizing that I know our family, Railroads University family, will provide a land acknowledgement and a welcome in a proper way as well, because it only just takes practice. Again, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really grateful to begin my day this way with all new potential. And if you come to campus and you're on campus, you'll probably see me around. And if that's the case and you want to talk more and you want to visit more, because I'm always open to learning about who you are and where you come from, everyone has my contact information. But I wish you luck this week, Andrea, and welcome everybody. And I see all the welcomes or all the good mornings from the different nations. So Klako, Klako in my language means thank you. Haishkasiem, the ancestors of these lands, also means thank you, honorable friends. I'm going to pass the feather back to you, Andrea.
Thank you, Asma-na-hi. Thank you so much for such a beautiful welcome, and thank you so much for being this morning with us. This was the most beautiful way to kick off this event. So thank you for that. So hello everyone and welcome. If you're just joining us, welcome and thank you so much for being with us this morning. My name is Andrea Torres and I'm the Student Recruitment Manager. And today I'm going to be co-hosting the first information session with my colleague Selena Kunar. But actually, before we start our info session, I wanted to show a video of our president, Philip Steenkamp, that couldn't join us this morning, but he was super excited about this event and this opportunity. So I'm going to take this opportunity.